So this is where the shit actually goes down. We find ourselves finally making it to Tranquility, and it is an absolute amazing place. First things first, there's mountains in the background, open plains pretty much everywhere. It's a beautiful, gorgeous place. The only kind of outlier that's sitting there is a red tower. It just kind of sits up on this rock somewhere. But other than that, fantastic. The only rules that we're kind of given is just don't go to the red tower, and everything else is pretty much fair game. So, the party will do what the party does. Go around, make some friends. Aspen found a pretty cool kinship with one of his own kind, and Maxwell. Yes, Maxwell. He decides to do the only reasonable thing he could think of. After just getting reamed out by his party for trusting people, he goes to the tower to investigate. So Maxwell decides to go investigating alone. And of course, this isn't the best choice, because getting into that tower only led to more reaming out from the party. Though, making it to the lower levels did open up something pretty freaking interesting. Maxwell was quick to learn that leaving was pretty gosh darn impossible, but you could physically mine for almost anything you wanted down there. He was warned that going deeper could give you more rewards, but also brought up more dangers to expect. How dangerous, though? It was a spectacle to see. Around this time, I guess the party kind of figured out that Maxwell was up to something stupid again. Well, right. They wanted to go find him. Making their way to the tower, the party soon finds themselves facing, well, ourselves. Perfect duplicates of ourselves. They just seem to be missing that one special ingredient. Our souls. In a hard-fought and surprisingly quick fight, we lost. Terribly. This should have been the end for us, but our guide Wei somehow gave us a chance to get back up. It was either to pass into the afterlife or come back to the land of the living and go at it again. Most of our party was actually quick to choose on just getting back up because, let's be honest, nobody wants to die. But Maxwell and Corafel, they stayed a bit longer. Not because they didn't want to get back up, because, let's face it, nobody wants to die. But they were kind of scared that the other one would choose to die. Upon waking up, Corafel has undergone another shift over to a new phase, Varys. Though Maxwell still wasn't getting up. On the inside of Maxwell, it was two forces trying to fight over who was really wanting to help Maxwell. After an internal decision and some time later, they all got back up with a little bit of recovery magic, definitely being a miracle. With a newfound fondness of living and a new threat of our perfect selves wandering about somewhere, it was unanimous. There was one thing that we needed to do. Leave Tranquility and go for round 2. We decided to start making our way back to Summerstar, try to get a little bit of help from one of our friendly, ill-slept wizards, William. While traveling through our familiar little town, things were a little off. People were giving us a side-eye, people kind of avoiding us. It was kind of weird. But the most weird part was whenever we actually did find William, he put us under arrest. This threw the party completely off. The party was willingly go. There was no point in fighting our allies. In the barracks, we learned pretty much why we were being arrested. It was because of our perfect selves. They had a stake for our king over at Summerstar. He was still alive, just missing his important ingredient, his soul. While in the barracks, we did come across a mysterious figure, a person called Longstrider. While they did seem to know Varys, and had a pretty unique ability to move between the physical and ethereal plane. Something to remember, though, is Longstrider likes to make deals with people, and managed to make a deal with Arabella, her kingdom, for a few days of protection. There, William honestly wanted to trust the party, and luckily he did give us the chance, letting us go free, though he did have to make it look like we escaped. That was not a fun time. While on our short term of freedom, we were able to find the cave that our perfect selves were hiding in. It was only accessible at night, at a full moon, and this is where the second fight finally came too. It was hard, but this time we were victorious. And that victory felt great. Not only did we beat the people who beat us, pretty much to death, but we also got the king's soul back. And we were able to clean our names. And so, this was one, but a small victory that kind of felt heroic. And as a small reward for not only saving the king, gave us a small little plot of land that we'll eventually name the homestead. The next few days is where things start getting a little sideways. After setting up our new little abode, we started to seem to be getting into a bit of a loop. Days repeating themselves as we'd be getting asked the same questions. Right after a carnival seemed to make it to Summerstar, though there were some oddities that did seem to differ between day and day. One of the main ones was the amount of children in town seemed to steadily decrease. This, of course, being one of our soft spots for the party, we had to investigate. Taking a quick look into not only this new carnival, but as well as the people running it, we've soon discovered that they were taking the kids into one of the back tents. Pretty weird, especially because they never came back out with those kids. So, going on in, we found out that they was going to a completely different demiplane. Somewhere pretty freaking off the balls. Somebody was tripping. Exploring this demiplane, we were able to find these kids. They were all lined up, going all the way up to this small altar where, yes, we seen it, being sacrificed by blood hags. They thought they were all going to be getting witches, and, well, that just simply wasn't the case. With another fight under our belt, this one wasn't as heroic as the last. As Bloodhag did use those kids not only for those sacrifices, but also to protect themselves from our attacks. So, with some accidental ends, we were just trying to help them. But we were able to take out the Bloodhag, thankfully. After making it back to Summerstar, though, after leaving that demiplane, the Archwizard of Summerstar, also known as William's boss, finally returned. And he wasn't happy. Of the most recent events, it would make sense. King almost dying, kids all dying. Yeah, I wouldn't be happy if I was supposed to be protecting that town as well. Which unfortunately was William's main duty. And this kind of led him to being cut loose of his apprenticeship. So we decided to send William to Tranquility, to spend some time there to clear his head. And this is, oddly enough, whenever we received a message from Aaron's last companion. With this new information, this is when we started heading to Kamoy.